Well, howdy folks, how you going? Rob here. We're off on a bit of a day trip today up to Governor's Chair, which is part of Main Range National Park, up around the Cunningham's Gap area. Now, Governor's Chair is perched high on the edge of a cliff face, and it was apparently a resting spot for early Queensland governors when they travelled through sort of the Spices, Gap, Cunningham area. The most famous of all being the first governor of Queensland, Sir George Bowen. Apparently he would stop there all the time and feast his eyes on what he called the incomparable panorama. So part of today's journey is to see how incomparable it really is. Now, it's a bit of an overcast day today, unfortunately. Not clear blue skies, enough blue skies around to warrant the trip. It's about 2 hours from Brisbane, so not too far to go, which is quite nice. We're approaching from the eastern side, so we'll come through Spices Gap. Now, that's accessible with any kind of vehicle. You don't need a four-wheel drive, which is fantastic. Once you go through Arachula, chuck a left about 5k past that, onto Lake Mugara Road, and Spices Gap Road is a little bit further on from that, and you'll find yourself heading towards Governor's Chair. That whole area, that whole mountain range is Main Range National Park. Absolutely huge. Lots of walking tracks in there, folks, not just Governor's Chair. Heaps of stuff you can check out. You can easily spend a couple of days in this area. Well, no surprises here. It was a late start for me today, and I am absolutely starving. But no fear. Arachula has a fantastic bakery. Right on the highway, you can pull up. Great place for lunch, great place to stop. If you're going camping out this way, there's a place that sells firewood. Really, really good out here, guys. Gorgeous little town. Make sure you stop at Arachula and support the locals. As I said, folks, a couple of K past Arachula, chuck a left and you are on your way. Nice graded gravel road, folks. Still accessible for two-wheel drive, that's for sure. Let's get to Governor's Chair. Good sized car park up here. Plenty of space. Now, an open disclaimer, folks, this is an open cliff edge, so if you have kids with you, make sure you take care and don't let them run off. There is no railing or fence to hold them back from falling off the edge of the cliff. That goes for adults as well. Take care, guys. Folks, how good is that? I can see why it's called an incomparable panorama. Have a go at it. That is absolutely fantastic. Just unreal. Well worth the trip, guys. 2 hours from Brisbane and you're greeted with this. You can get here in a two-wheel drive. It is a dirt road up here, but you can get up here. It's very, very easy, very, very flat. I probably wouldn't do it immediately after rain, but as long as it hasn't rained recently, you'll get up here in a two-wheel drive, no dramas at all. There's cars up here in the car park, they're definitely two-wheel drive. They didn't have any issues at all. But as if this isn't enough, there's also apparently a well halfway down. We'll go check that out. And then head back, check out the campground that I went past. I didn't know there was a campground here. As you come back down the track, make sure you stop in and check out Moss's Well. Just a 60-metre walk, and there is parking just off the side of the track there for you as well. So let's go have a look. Moss's Well. Okay, boys and girls, take what you think you traditionally know what a well is. Forget it, because this is Moss's Well. Now, Moss is a bit of a brief history. It was contracted by the Leslies, who the Leslie Dam is named after. And if you want to check out the Leslie Dam clip, I'll put a link up in the corner. But Moss was contracted by those Leslie, Patrick and Mary, I think it is. You have to watch the video and correct me if I'm wrong. And wanted to build a road from Governor's Chair heading east. Now, the problem was they didn't have any water, so fresh water. So old Mossy came along and started to try and find fresh water. Obviously it's a rainforest, so it's got to be fresh water. He sort of found it, sorta. Anyway, the road failed, the road collapsed, it was all a big disaster and ended up costing the Leslies a whole stack of money. But this is the well. Now we all think of a well as a little circle bricky type thing with a big drop and you put a bucket in and you get water out. Not quite this one. Have a look. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's called Moss Well because of the moss, but this was it. So, he has dug, hopefully you can see it in the camera, a little sort of round circular concrete structure in there, but not exactly what you would expect when you go to see a historic well. There you go, Moss's Well. A reminder, really I guess, of his failure. Remember to take care, guys, when you're driving on these tracks. Plenty of wildlife out this way. Heaps of trails here, folks. This one I'll save for another day because we're going to go have a look at the campgrounds. Now don't be a dope, folks. Make sure you get your camping tag, make sure you sign online, all that sort of stuff. And these here aren't the camp areas, these are just parking areas. Out here on the grassed area, wherever it's got mowed grass, that's where you can camp. So a couple of people camping over there at the moment. I won't go disturb them, but I'll go take some shots for you and show you a little bit around. At the Pioneer picnic area, you'll find the Pioneer graves. I'll tell you what, folks, the early pioneers, they had it bloody hard, I tell you. This here, this can, is a bit of a memorial to all the early pioneers. This is the cemetery for early pioneers. They found, I think, about 6 or so, one of them being a lady by the name of Mrs. Collins who fell off a bullock wagon. There was a little grave next to Mrs. Collins's, and obviously with barely any records back in the day, they don't know if it was a baby or something else, you know, no one has any idea. So very, very sad and tough life and a tough way to go. Anyway, it's nice that this is here, and it's only 150 metres off the tracks, so it's well worth a little walk down and experience a little bit of history. There is barbecues and tables here in the day use area, and best of all, folks, there is toilets. Now, just a reminder, guys, these are at the bottom of the hill, not up near Governor's Chair, so this is in the day use and campground area. Now, it goes without saying, folks, that collecting firewood from a national forest is not the right thing to do, so don't do it. Alright guys, I'm back on the track. I'm not going to show you the campground, only because there was a large kids group or scouts group or something like that that have booked out the area. So in respect to their privacy and all that sort of stuff, and you know, not want to risk anything by putting kids on YouTube or whatever, I won't show you the campgrounds. I don't know what the numbers are that the national parks let you have in there, but the area wasn't huge, so I would suggest that if you do want to camp here on your visit to Governor's Chair, maybe plan it a little bit, because there wasn't a huge amount of room there, folks, so you want to get in early, that's for sure. Anyway, we're back on the track, heading down the mountain, back on the dirt road, nice and relatively smooth, and we'll head back towards Brizzy. I tell you what, folks, that won't last long. Just pulled over here at BP Arachula. Bit of dinner, fuel up on the way home, all that kind of thing. Bit of a backburn going on there, and nothing to be too concerned about, of course. Good to see the fireys out, trying to get ahead of the summer. Obviously, we know Australia has some terrible bushfires, so trying to get ahead of it there a little bit, which is quite nice. But yeah, the perfect day out, folks. Governor's Chair, I highly recommend it. And the sun is still up here. It's only 3:30, quarter to 4, or whatever it might be, and still plenty of time to get home with daylight with us. So the perfect day out, guys, and I think you'll agree the view is amazing, and only 2 hours, folks. You can't go wrong with that, can you? Like I keep saying, any vehicle can get up there, 2-wheel access, all that kind of thing. Just go have a day out, guys. Go check it out, and you won't regret it. Take some lunch with you. I've got the fridge in the back, and throw some cold drinks and things like that in there. But I mean, there's always places like Roadhouses and hey, the bakery. That burger was amazing. So my Akubra review out of 5, I'm going to say 4. 4 for a day out, I tell you. There's not going to be any hardcore cleaning of the car when you get home, just a little bit of dirt and stuff, obviously, from the dirt roads. There's no sand or anything to worry about. Easy to get to, there's toilets on site, there's tables and picnic facilities. Solid 4 out of 5 Cobras, I tell you, not bad at all. Alright guys, until I see you on the next one, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and hey, I'll probably see you out and about somewhere. Cheers guys, see you soon.